money from the giddy. I love it when it's like that.
It's so sad that we have to record away from each other this week, but it seems like every time we do record together, our audio's shit. So at least people won't complain about our fucking audio quality.
Your ma hit me up and she's just like, I couldn't talk when she called, and so she sent me a message. She's like, "Yo, it's mad static." I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Every time like we were talking, like you move our mics, it picked it up. So it is what it is.
Yeah, my dad and Ange both said something too. I was like, damn it. I go, everybody's fucking hitting me up.
Right. Oh, let's get into it, and we'll just start figuring out how your week was and all that good jive. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pro Fishing Fans. My name is CB, and with me is...
Non-static Clay Haggard.
There we go. Clay, we kind of touched base at the before we even got on.
I'm getting through it, man. We're getting through it. Fucking life, dude. Stores open back up. Fucking master's classes suck balls. I ain't trying to fucking learn like that. Like, fucking just trying to advance in my life.
Right.
I don't want to learn shit. I just want a piece of paper that tells me I can make more money.
Right.
I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for the easy road. I can hear everybody over there typing up their fucking motivational speeches. I don't want your fucking motivational speeches. I want you to type goddamn papers up and I'll pay you. That's what I want.
Right. Here's what I need.
And
Inbox me.
And I would like my discount for NFL Sunday ticket. Like, that's all I need. I'm good.
And your crazy good deal for the Hulu and Spotify?
Apparently I don't fucking qualify, bro. Every time I try, they go, "You're not a student." I'm like, bitch. I go, "Do you see my mental state? Like, I'm a fucking student. I'm stressed."
Oh, shit.
I could email them, but that takes effort too.
Right?
So
you're like, I got an inbox situation I'm dealing with over here.
Yeah,
so.
bro. I fucking lost 16,000 emails. Had to fucking recover all that shit. Had to reach out to Google, man. Life's rough, bro. Fucking midlife crisis?
You're having a midlife crisis? I always get concerned. I'm like,
bro,
I hope I never have one of those.
Hey, I'm 30 in what, 2 weeks?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks, midlife crisis. I'm almost there. What, probably 35, I guess would be maybe more of a midlife. 70 years. What's the average life expectancy?
Well, since I'm living for an eternity, I don't know. I don't think like you mere mortals.
Because even after we go, Proficient Fans will still play on.
Yeah, I'm gonna find the reincarnated Clay, and I'm gonna make it happen. All right, so
the Oracle.
Like, oh shit, I had a fun week, man. I had it off last week, and I don't know if I said it on the air, but we did a little camping venture in the backyard, which was dope.
Those pictures are dope.
2 days back to back. And I tell you, Wednesday came, and I couldn't wait for my bed. It was, oh, dude.
I bet. We're not built Ford tough like we used to be back in the day, man.
Oh, well.
Even I'm like coming over to a friend's house. They're like, "Yeah, man, you can sleep on the couch." I'm like, "The fuck?" Driving my ass home. Fuck that. Every time I come back to KZoo, I got 2 places I know I got a bed.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, believe that. Too old for that shit.
And it was dope, though. I mean, like, and Channing wanted it, so it was like we were really camping. So, I mean, all meals were cooked over the campfire, you know. So
yeah, bro. What were you cooking in the morning? Like eggs or something? What was it?
I made eggs and sausage.
Yeah, straight up over the fire.
Yeah.
Hey, which is legit though, man. Like if you're gonna give the kids that experience, you're doing it at home. You got the resources.
Yeah.
It ain't like you got to throw it in the car. So that's kind of cool.
And so we did that morning. Then we did what I made, like hobo. CB had a hobo. I made like a grilled sandwich, but with pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And then at dinner time that night, we made burgers over the fire.
What's the hobo?
But the first night,
I've heard it. I don't remember.
Yeah, a glorified, like it's these 2 cast iron clam shells.
Mm-hmm.
Put bread in there. Well, you butter it, and then you put bread And you put whatever you want in there, man. Like a lot of people do pizza, or you can make like apple pie. So you put apple pie filling or cherry pie filling.
So we're talking
You put-
homemade Hot Pockets.
yeah, more or less.
Fire.
Yeah,
It's like a mix between a Hot Pocket and a grilled cheese sandwich filled with whatever you want.
Yep. So
you had me at hobo.
we did that. The first night we just did hot dogs. We kept it real simple. But then I did burgers the next night, and then the next morning the final meal was pancakes and sausage.
I want you to understand that it sounds like when the Watkins go camping, all you do is just cook over a fire, which I'm about. I'm about that life.
We do.
I'm just letting you know that's what your camping trip sounded like. You slept on the ground, but then you ate like a king.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. I can get behind that. Let me know next time you go Watkins camping. I'll bring the generator, the TV, and the Xbox, bro. We'll go glamping. All we'll do is eat, we'll play video games, and then sleep uncomfortably. I'm down.
Yeah, I was gonna say like CB, like I watched this YouTube channel, and these guys go hiking all over the place, and C was watching with me, and he saw they had like ramen cups. A bunch of dudes from they're from America, but their heritage is from Japan, and so but like he saw me eating ramen out of the cup, and he goes, "Yo, when you go camping, can you get me some of those?" Because he originally was gonna camp out back with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'll, so like he smashed out on ramen, different days because he's just like, that's what those guys did and it looked dope. So,
hey, it keeps the pocketbook full, man. I'm all about, yeah. You know what, son? Yes, I will buy you some ramen noodles. I got you.
Oh, you want to talk about how I'm raising my kids good and cheap? I went to go wash my hands and the soap just came out all watery. And I was like, hey, babe, we need some more soap for the bathroom. She goes, no, I got some. And I was like, oh, there's water in there. I just thought that you got to the bottom and you filled it up. Yeah. And Channing goes, oh, no, that was me. And I'm like, that's my guy.
Yeah. Bro, you might as well just make Save That Money by Lil Dicky his fucking like anthem.
Mm-hmm.
That song is fucking hilarious.
Oh, so yeah.
Trial memberships, no. I never joined that shiz, no. What the fuck you think this is, no?
I wanted the kids to watch that Little Dicky show, and then like I think it was the second episode, he's straight smashing butt cheeks on his girlfriend, and I was like, all right, guys, we can't watch this.
Yeah.
It was already a little like extra risky, and
I mean, so you watched the season, right?
I didn't watch the whole season because I've been in COVID, dude. I don't have an opportunity to watch that show with kids
not
around all the time.
So half the season, there's 8 episodes. Half the episodes involve that kind of stuff. So like,
I'm gonna wait till the kids go back to school and then I'm gonna catch up. So
and they'll learn what milking is.
No, don't need them to know about that. So
I'll let the rest of you Google it. Enjoy that shit.
But no, dope week, man. I really enjoyed it, except for. By the way, hey everybody, thank you for tuning in a day later. I legitimately felt like asshole yesterday, and I woke up in the middle of the night Friday night with a fucking earache. I was like, what am I, fucking a child? What grown up gets an earache? And
did Tara rub your tummy when you went to sleep?
No, man. Like I was just like, because like I fell asleep probably about midnight or so. Woke up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't go back to sleep till 5:30 or so, and then got up early and had the whole day I had to do shit. And Saturday was Tara's birthday, so like she wanted me up to do stuff with her. I was like, I'm up, muscle through that.
Tara. Now I feel terrible. And then no.
Damn. And so so I got up and hung out with her all day, and then that night I went to bed at midnight. But CB and I went out swimming late. Came back in, my ear just clogged all the way up. I couldn't get the water out of it. Once again, woke up at 2. The hugest pressure. I couldn't even close my motherfucking jaw because it was so bad.
All right, Kanye.
Yeah, well, hey.
Jeez, let's not get on topic with him. He's
I was just like,
right now, dude. Jeez.
That was, I mean, like, it was really sad, man, that he's there.
Yeah.
I
don't want to get into it. I don't
Yeah,
want to get into it.
that's gonna bring down the pot at an early
Yeah, I
time.
ain't trying to get into it.
Hey, you still sipping on some the what'd you have? Four Roses?
Yeah, this is going to be my last 2 glasses. On to the next 5th next week.
This is Old Tub, and it's a Jim Beam from their distillery. So here's the thing. So I'm gonna shout out National Beverage and my guy over there. He actually just did his first recording on Facebook, where they do bourbon reviews. And
Nice.
I'm sitting there and I was looking around for something, and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "a lot of people have been buying this," and he's like, "I'm actually doing the review on this one tomorrow." And I looked at it, I go, "Fuck it, I'll buy it." And it's actually pretty good. It's 100 proof. And I mean, when I took the first sip, I go, "Ooh, my balls got a little heavier, so a little bit more manly."
Couple more gray hairs on them testes. I like it.
Yeah, so solid pour, man. Got to be careful, I can tell, because as you start to drink it, it goes down even smoother. So, oh shit, I don't know, man. What you think? You think you ready for some sports talk?
I'm always ready for sports, CB.
So, the NBA did what? 326 tests.
It was something like that.
Yeah. And everybody's clear. You excited? Are you? I mean, like.
I'm impressed.
I
I think impressed is the word that everybody's looking for right now. Like, the NBA has successfully created a bubble.
346.
And they're doing what they need to do. Like, to get a season for the fans, for the players, for everyone. So I will say I'm impressed with that. Now,
they got a snitch line.
That was so funny, bro. They have a snitch line. Can you imagine that?
Was it that was dribbling? It was Jimmy Butler dribbling the ball at 3 a.m.
All you need to do is straight snitch out the opposition. Be like, who we playing next week? Who we playing tomorrow? Yeah. Houston? I think Russ got that COVID again. I saw him coming in after hours.
Right. James Harden, he snuck in about 5 strippers. I seen it. Oh man. Yeah, it's highly impressive of what the NBA was able to do. They have their plan was very comprehensive, and it was amazing of how they were able to get everybody to buy into this. Well, not everybody, because some players didn't.
Sure.
But respect to those players that didn't come because of that. It's not trying to dog them at all.
To get together and have that many players all on the same page. Because
it's not just players, because you got motherfucking staff too.
I know. Yeah, no, I know. Organizations, teams in entirety. To have that many people, respect the rules, follow the rules, do what they need to do to not keep themselves safe, but to keep everyone safe around them.
Yeah.
It's just impressive. And it goes to show the dedication of these players that are trying to get back on the court. Like, they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they can keep playing ball. So mad respect to them. And with all the other sports too, like the UFC fighters, the MLB players, the NFL players that are trying to get back. Like, it's just awesome to see, from a fan's perspective. It's easy for us to say, I want basketball. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, go live in a bubble, like, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, like, how selfish of us to feel that way when these people are going to be away from families, like all the sacrifices.
He's got a daughter that he doesn't get to see. You know what I mean? Like,
now granted, they're doing it to get paid, like it's part of their job. Right. So there's a little bit more that goes into it. But, like, the rest of us, we wear masks out in public. We come home, we spend time with, like, our friends and family.
Yep.
Like, maybe just family for some, like, depending on how hardcore your lockdown is. So, like, my point being is, like, if somebody was like, yo, like, not only do I need you, CB, to put yourself at risk, I need you to also move away from your family for a couple months because, that's what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
And you can opt out. You can opt out. But, like, exactly, man, if you want to get paid, the way you support your family to continue the lifestyle you're living, like, you kind of have to. Like, it's still a job. I'm sure some of these guys are like, fuck. All right.
I mean, let's think about it. They're in a hotel. If you
Yeah.
stayed in a hotel for any, I mean, like for any
For a
extended
week.
period of time,
For a week. I get tired of hotels, bro. They're in there for months.
dude.
Months.
With Verizon, when I first started with Verizon, I was in the fucking hotel for a whole month.
Oof.
I'd come home on the weekend, dude.
Nah.
And yeah, it was. I mean, so yeah, you miss the comforts of home.
Miss your
So
toilet, bro. Gotta shit on the throne, man. I don't want to use this
yeah,
hotel toilet all that much. I get it.
right.
You drove home you probably held it all week and then just released on the weekend, huh?
Well, I do one final salute to the toilet before I left, and then I knew there was at least one time during the week that I'd, eat something I probably shouldn't have, like White Castle.
Yeah, you and your fourth meal Taco Bell drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
So
back. I mean, away from the assholes and back to like the NBA. I'm excited, man. We're almost there. We're
yeah,
almost there. I know we got some scrimmages coming up, this week, into next week for some teams, and then the 30th, like, boom, dude. I mean, you saw my snap earlier today, like me
yeah,
getting pumped. I was just like streaming some Sports Center during my lunch. Of course, I see at the ticker like NBA count, like
yeah.
started, tip off. I'm like, oh, let's go. Like we
It's
have
it,
some dates and times, bro. Like you got
it's
MLB starting
exciting.
up, you got NBA coming up like shortly after it. Like, I mean MLB is Thursday. Like super stoked
Yeah.
for that too. So I mean, dude, I've never been more excited for baseball. You know what's gonna be crazy, bro? We're gonna look back and we're gonna be like, yo, baseball was the sport that almost died. And then COVID came along and saved it. If a pandemic saves the Major League Baseball, shame on you guys. Like Jesus.
Yeah, that's
We're
God,
watching you
baseball.
because we have nothing else to do.
I've been watching a lot of MLS, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, soccer's been on quite a bit.
Like I watched Chicago Fire last night lose.
Yeah.
But I've been watching JaVale McGee's got a YouTube channel, and he's just like life in the bubble is like his whole theme, and he's just recording everything, um and eating for him is difficult because he's a vegan,
Yeah.
So but something really I personally feel this is devastating that Rondo broke his fucking hand.
Yeah. How did he do it? I didn't read up on how it happened. Just practice?
Yeah. So he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. That's so I posed the question in the notes. Do you feel that this hurts the Lakers' chances? Because if there's one position in the entire team that we're shy on,
Yeah, shallow.
it's that point
sure.
guard, man.
Oh, I mean, 100%. Like, if you're specifically saying, is it going to hurt the Lakers? The answer is 100% yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only did you just lose part of your depth, which, like you just
Beasley
mentioned, the Lakers
or
need,
yeah,
but that's a veteran. That's a
Beasley, but
championship-winning veteran on the team
mm-hmm.
that they just lost.
He's like a coach on the fucking field.
I mean, dude, he's kind of a floor general, and I say that in the sense that when he's out there, if you don't have your LeBrons or your Anthony Davises, you're like, that's the guy you're looking to run that offense.
He's the next leader, man.
Yeah, I mean, he by default, and not even by default, he has those leadership characteristics. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to hurt LA a little bit. I won't say it's like because of that they're now like knocked down a peg. Like I don't think that like all of a sudden now the Lakers, like for example, aren't the favorite, but it is going to hurt them 100%. You're going to see LeBron have to play an extra 4 minutes a game, 5 minutes. Like granted he almost plays the whole game anyways, but you catch my drift. Like you're now putting more pressure on your stars that are going to have to step up even more so to make sure they get the job done, and they're going to have to put in a couple more minutes because of that. But this also gives people like your Caruso more opportunity out there. And I mean, because like in my opinion, that's who's going to have to step up now. Like Caruso's got to step up and be that dude. So this is kind of like that same situation that happened with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady, man. Your veteran goes out, you give granted, I mean, like, it ain't like Caruso's a rookie, but you give your backup a shot, and if he fucking puts out, bro, like, see your,
it is what it is. At
like,
that
thanks
point.
Rondo for joining the team, like, on to the next, and you keep your boy. So we'll see. And I like Caruso, so
Yeah.
I would love to see him put out.
But he's a I mean, but here's the thing: is like he's a baller, dude. Like, I mean, and all, like everybody jokes about it, but I mean, like, he's out there. He reminds me of a Mark Madison. Madison, is that how I say his last name? I used to call him Lionheart. He was on the championship Laker teams with Kobe and Shaq, and he just went out there and played his fucking ass off. Wasn't always the greatest. He wasn't the greatest player, but he played his ass off. He filled his role, and I don't know. He was like one of my my great white hype is what he was. I mean, he was just, I don't know, he was a beast out there. So, I would be honest, like I was shook because of the fact that Rondo is such a huge piece of that puzzle right there.
So you're more concerned than I am, like than I was putting off.
Well, I am more concerned. Yeah, I mean, like you're like yeah, it's just the way I took what you said. I took it as there's a little nervousness there for is it gonna hurt? But I mean, me being a fully vested Laker guy,
sure.
I'm just like, fuck, we can't stand to lose that kind of piece at all. And it's just really like, I'm just like, what are we gonna do? I mean, who's gonna push the ball up the court, with the second team? It's got to be Caruso now. LeBron, need you to go Iron Man for the rest of the season. You never sit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You said 48 minutes this game? Yeah, we're going to need you for all 48. Thank you.
Light work. So, I don't know, a little nervous, but I'm crazy excited for the season to kick off. I was watching ESPN today, and I heard it. Was it ESPN or was it Dan Patrick? I don't remember. But anyways, I was watching a show today, and I heard them ask this question. I didn't get to hear their answers, so it was ESPN because I remember Perkins was on there. But they asked who was more valuable for their team, LeBron or Giannis? And I was like, damn, that is a great fucking question. And because the fact that it was LeBron was in that question, I was really look forward to hearing what your answer was for that.
Yeah, so I saw that you wrote that, and I'll be honest, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I mean, my bias, of course, will always say LeBron. Like, I mean,
yeah, but I need you to take away the bias, and I mean,
like, when you come to valuable, I guess the way I look at it is the Lakers roster right now without LeBron is still a competitor in the West. I feel like Giannis makes Milwaukee the team they are, and they still have pieces, but those pieces are tailored around Giannis.
Yep.
He's still the focal point. He's the eye of the storm. So, like, if you take that away, the storm dissipates, and it just becomes a fucking thunderstorm.
Right.
Like, you take LeBron out of L.A., who's, I mean, still obviously the best. You still have Ant. You still got Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You still got veteran Rajon Rondo minus his hand injury.
Right.
You still got Kyle Kuzma. So you still got these pieces. I mean, among other players, JaVale McGee at the 5. You catch my drift, though. You still have these other players.
Dwight Howard.
Especially with Ant. Like, let's not downplay him being a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yep.
Like, they are still competitive. New Orleans Pelicans, Anthony Davis made them a playoff team. LA Lakers, surrounded by better players, Anthony Davis makes them a playoff team. So if I had to say who's more valuable to their team, Giannis is the clear answer. Even with all the talent LeBron brings, like, Milwaukee without Giannis, I mean, who's your best player? Like, Covington?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's Covington. Or else you got or is it Connington? God, now I don't know. I gotta look it up. But I mean, you get the idea. So yeah, I say Giannis, and it sounds Middleton. Sorry, Middleton. I had to look it up. Oh, there is a Connington, small forward, but I was thinking of Chris Middleton in my head.
Okay.
Brooke Lopez, Eric Bledsoe, Kyle Korver.
All pieces. That's all they are. Pieces.
Now, in the East, George Hill. I forgot George Hill was with them now. In the East, I think with those people, the Bucks could still make the playoffs. Like, I won't take that from them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like that sorry. But Giannis, I mean, that dude's a freak, bro. Like, even with KD's success, I personally think Giannis is, in my opinion, I think he's overstepped KD. Like, I think Giannis is behind my boy LeBron. I think Giannis is the second best player in the NBA. That dude's too consistent. He's doing it at a younger age. I mean, this dude's dominating. He's single-handedly made the Bucks the ring contender. There's a reason we talk about Milwaukee, and it isn't because of any of those other players. It kind of goes back to like Kobe. Like Kobe when like his next best player was Shaq. I'm not even
after Shaq.
I'm talking about like I'm talking about even pre-Shaq even. Like,
no,
I
there
don't
was
feel
no
like,
pre-Shaq.
Wait, he had Shaq his rookie year?
Yeah.
Really? I guess I didn't realize he was that young when Shaq was in LA. How many years was Shaq in LA? I thought he was only there for like 4 or 5 years.
Got there in 96, 97 season. I feel like he got there the very first year that
okay. I'm gonna
Kobe got there.
Whatever you said, you could have said 76. I would have been like, yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah. And I gotta Google it because I want to know. But yeah.
Anyways, my point being is there have been players that have made huge runs without much help. And I feel like Giannis has put Milwaukee on.
He definitely, when you're sitting there, you're talking, 100% I agree with you. 96 to 2004.
8 years. Okay. I said like 5. I was off.
I 100% agree with the fact that Giannis is the only reason why anybody talks about the Bucks. You said something though during that really took me back, and
KD?
KD.
That'd be the only thing I could have said. Here's my thing. His sellout season, it's hard for me to give him props as far as being successful, even though he was successful in Golden State.
He won an MVP in Oklahoma.
No, exactly. But I'm saying like when he went to Golden State, he lost some props from me.
Gotcha.
To me, and I can't take away stats. Like, ball don't lie.
Right.
And dude, you've always heard me talk about KD being one of the best in the league.
And I dog him. So
yeah. And so like, I'm not saying like it's clear cut. He's sorry Giannis is better. What I'm saying is what Giannis has done argues the fact that he could be right now with his game. He could go out there and be better than Kevin Durant. I could see Giannis being behind, and I won't even say behind LeBron.
Sons of bitches,
I know,
banging it out.
Well, and that's the thing
age.
too, is they have the same archetype.
Yeah.
They both can shoot. They both can drive. They both can play low. They can pass. They both can run the court.
Jeez.
They both can block. They both can steal. Like, they're in my. You would have to break it down with numbers to decide which one of those two is better. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't even know if you could do numbers. I think at that point, I'm looking at what weapons they had around them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at that point, and then Giannis has nobody. Where KD had, James Harden,
KD has always
Westbrook.
Had superstar.
He's always had a superstar.
He's never played in the NBA without a superstar next to him.
Even when he actually starts playing for Brooklyn, he's gonna have Kyrie. Jeez. Fucking cherry picking son of a bitch.
Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let me go back to his Supersonics days. I don't remember.
He never played for the Supersonics. They moved. Mm-mm. He never had a Supersonics jersey, did he?
Yep. Yes, he did. 2007, 2008. That was his rookie year, and they were still in Seattle. I know it's hard to even remember that, but this was Kevin Durant before he even had a chin beard, bro.
Yeah.
Wally Zerbiak. Delonte West. Nick Collison. So I'm going to take a slight step back and say, okay, way back then, sure, I'll give it to him. He didn't have no superstar then, but
Wally Zerbiak.
that's what I just said. Like,
No, he's. I was like, yo, he
Delonte
was
West.
nice.
No, but like, bro,
Oh man, Delonte West.
when did Wally Zerbiak ever be like superstar? Never. There were no superstars on this team. That's why I said I
guess you're right. Yeah, they left in 2008. Became.
Yeah. His rookie year was the last year of the Supersonics.
Yeah, that was the reason why it was a big deal. That I thought it was like the Son. I guess that doesn't even make sense that the Sonics would have drafted him and then he never even became a Sonic. That doesn't even make sense. I knew that he got drafted by them.
Let's see. Let me look at 2009 because I know Harden came in 2010.
I think that's when they got Westbrook.
Harden came 2009. Serge Ibaka was there. So I guess granted. And Russ. So those guys came 1 year after his rookie year. Still, 99% of my dudes.
Let's talk about that draft class. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sean Living was still, he was there. Nick Collison.
Yeah, it's I just heard it and I thought it was just I didn't know if I was gonna be able to get you out of your LeBron bag, and you proved me wrong. Proved me wrong.
In that situation, I think saying LeBron would have been wrong. You could argue it, but like, if Giannis would have had Anthony Davis, the answer would have been LeBron James. Like, right. That he's too big of a superstar to where losing one makes that team irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, the Bucks without Giannis.
Well, they're back where they were before Giannis.
That's the Cavs. That's the Cavs without LeBron.
Yeah.
That's what the Bucks. Granted, I still think the Bucks can make the playoffs. I'm not saying it'd be easy.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Not today. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of done with the NBA until it actually. I mean, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it next week or something. But for tonight, I think I'm done. I once again, just want to give mad kudos to the NBA and getting their bubble, a real bubble. They are Biodome without Pauly Shore and the other dude. You never watched Biodome, did you?
I know the movie. I just know I haven't taken it. It's not like it's. I don't know.
It's the Wheeze, dude. You got to check it out.
Sorry.
But anyways, I have a question for you, and then we're going into football question. Are you bothered by the fact that the NFL has had the most amount of time to get a plan in place, and it doesn't seem like they really have a plan in place?
Yeah.
For getting everything ready for COVID.
Yeah, I mean, obviously today they finally came to terms and agreements and like solidified their health and safety plan for the players.
But players showed up today. Rookies showed up today.
Right. So what I'm saying is yes, I mean, for the length of time that they've had to come up with a sound process to keeping everybody safe, it is surprising that a league like the NFL has taken so long. I know there's a lot to it, and I know a lot rides on the decision, because if you get it wrong, like, you're gonna get shamed. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get shamed by the media, by the fans, by the players. Like, everyone's just gonna hate the league for fucking it up. So I understand wanting to make sure you take enough time to get it done, but at the same time, when your product, which are the players, are showing extreme concern and hesitation to want to do this because of their, lack of, I guess,
they weren't in the know.
You know,
They
yeah,
weren't in the no, like
exactly.
they had. I mean, and it was the big names that were reaching out.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's, J.J. Watts, like so on and
Breeze.
so forth. Yeah, Drew Brees. Um, so yeah, man. I mean, I guess the way I look at it is it's shocking it took them so long. I personally, and I would like to assume that the players now at this point are just like, all right, we got it, we're good. All right, cool. Let's move forward now. I don't feel like it's going to be something that's going to be lingered on. We're not going to hear about how long it took them once week 3 hits. You know what I mean? Come September, we won't be talking about this. But current right now, yes, I would say it was shocking that it just took them so long. You think there would be more of a sense of urgency, so you could get the players informed, and then you can get like camp started. You know, this isn't a sport where you can just take it all off and say, all right, you got a month to get in shape.
Yeah.
Like, no,
You
in
got to
my
come
opinion,
into shape.
no professional athlete in any sport is going to be able to take 4 weeks and say, oh, I'm good. Like, that's just impossible.
Michael Jordan changed that whole concept, not going back to basketball. I'm just talking about as an athlete. I feel like Michael Jordan was the one that took the whole, you don't come into camp to get in shape. You come into camp to start practicing to win.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I remember Charles Barkley, that tractor trailer from where'd he play? Charlotte? Is that where he played at? Oh, no, he was older. I'm sorry.
I don't even know who that person is, so.
He played college ball at that other school. But he was a big dude. But I remember like back in those days, guys just show up out of shape because like fuck it, I'm just gonna get in shape during that time. And the same thing happened with football. Yeah, I was a little. I really just thought that they had everything on lock because even though I didn't hear anything, I was just like, oh, like they did such a fantastic job with the draft this year that I was just like, oh, they got the fucking season on, they got it ready to roll. And then all of a sudden, like, and I'm sure there were conversations being had, and the players were like in these conversations, the National Players Association, which when I was doing some reading, I found out that the NFL or the Players Association for football is like the weakest union in all of fucking sports. Like the business itself reigns way higher than supreme than what the players do. It's just wild how weak they are. And I was wanting to give you crazy credit. I want to give your team credit. I meant to pull this up beforehand. I'm sorry. I'm looking for it was out of the Dolphins, dude.
Byron Jones. You talking about who
Byron,
spoke up?
Yeah, Byron Jones. Thank you. I should have just asked you instead of having to pull up the site. But I was very impressed with the fact that it really stemmed from Miami. Like, hey, what's the plan? There's no real plan in place, and you guys are fucking up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he kind of spearheaded that. I guess
we
attack for less of better words, but yeah, the hashtag.
They called it a blitz. They got to keep it a football term.
Yeah, sorry. We want to
play. The media called it, a blitz, and
yeah, I mean, dude, you can't blame them. Like, the whole point was we want to play, so let's get on the same damn page. Let's figure this shit out. Let's communicate so we can get going. And like we mentioned earlier, Drew Brees, Myles Garrett. Shout out Myles Garrett for getting an extension after bashing Mason Rudolph's head in. Jarvis Landry, Todd Gurley, like Drew Brees, which I think I mentioned twice.
He did. I was like, somebody
J.J.
loves
Watt.
Drew Brees.
Sorry, J.J. Watt.
You're like, yo, Rosado, I got you, boy.
I tell you who don't like Drew Brees. That's Eminem. Moving on. But yeah, no, man, like Patrick Mahomes. Like, so, it's just pretty awesome. And, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna rattle off what J.J. Watt tweeted, because I feel like for those people who haven't done any research on this, like, this basically completely summarizes where the team is and what they wanted. So yesterday he tweeted out, once again, in the interest of keeping everyone, players and fans, as informed as possible, here's an updated list of what we as players know and don't know as the first group gets set to report to training camp tomorrow, which was today. So here's this list. We want to play. We want to be as safe as possible. The NFL can mandate that players show up to training camp regardless if any agreement has been reached between the NFL and the NFLPA, Players Association. We still have not been granted the full and proper training camp acclimation period necessary as recommended by the medical and training staffs. You and I just kind of touched on that, actually. You know, we talked about, like, given the amount of time, which now is going to be 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, like, that's not an appropriate amount of time, you know, normally as at this point is recommended by medical and training staffs to be fully ready to go for a full contact sport in 6 weeks.
I put in here like it's like a 21-day acclimation period. You know what I mean? Like that's what was recommended.
And that's assuming every single person reported today. That's not how that worked. Not every
Right.
single player in the NFL reported to a camp today. So that 6 weeks is maximum, and probably less than half the league's going to get that. Next part on his list, we still do not know if there will be daily testing, every other day testing, etc. Kind of a big fucking deal right now. We still do not know if there will be preseason games or not, which I know it hasn't been officially voted on, but due to all this hurry up, there won't be preseason games. I don't think they're going to have any. The players never wanted them to begin with. I don't know why the league would now backtrack after getting rid of 2 of the 4 and, you know, not just continue on getting rid of all 4 games, especially this season, man.
Especially since you're not getting the revenue from fans coming in.
And what they should be doing is what every other league is doing. You scrimmage your own team. You go 100%, you scrimmage your own team. Defense A, offense A, boom. You know what I mean?
I was just saying, well, you have practice squads anyways, you know what I mean? So like
exactly. But to get that full play, I would say you literally put up your A squad against your A squad. I'm not saying all day because they can't take that physical abuse, but like, why would you not, if you are Deshaun Watson, why would you not want JJ Watt the one rushing you? You're wearing a red shirt, you're not going to get tackled, but like, you need to see, in my opinion, I guess if I were a coach, because of this, I would say, yo, like, we just lost 70% of our camp. Like, we got to hit the switch. You guys are professionals. I need you to give me your all right now. No tomorrow.
So you want Christian McCaffrey to get fucking pummeled.
So here's the thing. He's either going to get, let's just use the word pummeled, okay? Even though it's a heavy word. He's either going to get pummeled by a practice squad or he's going to get pummeled by the A squad. Here's my thing. I would rather him get pummeled by my A squad to destroy every other squad in the NFL than put him up against half-ass fucking players who don't have that ability and then go get demolished week 1.
Who's running back for Baltimore?
Ingram. Mark Ingram.
So, and I'm questioning things, right? Because you're saying 100% go at it. And I just feel
let me just, before this gets too
I was gonna say, like, I'm just like, imagine there's a Ray Lewis type fucking linebacker out there.
They're still the same,
what's that
right?
Boy
But I mean, like,
is he from Tennessee or is he from your boy from? There's a linebacker that was a beast last year, and I didn't even know.
Probably C.J. Mosley from Alabama.
Might have been. You sang some high praises of him, and I felt like he was like a secretly like dominating linebacker, but I thought it was like Carolina or maybe it was Tennessee.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it was CJ, but I mean, go on though. I'm sorry.
So, anyways, here's my thing. Like, there's always going to be concern. Now, for your superstars, I could understand how you could say, "Hey, Christian, we know how hard you've been working in the off season. We're going to throw you out there. We're going to see some live speed, but we're not going to let them like full blow knock you over. But they're going to wrap you up. Like, they kind of know what's coming." I feel like there's a mutual respect between the teams and the players. Like, you're never going to hit the quarterback. They're probably going to be like, "Yo, guys, don't fucking lay out Mike Thomas. Fucking chill out on Mike Thomas." Like, there's still an understanding.
Right.
But my point being is let's say which makes sense. Let's say you got a Ray Lewis type guy and you're like, "Yo, I don't want him fucking blowing up our A running back."
Right.
So you're going to let him blow up your depth? Yo, let's let him fuck up running back B or running back C. Like, there's always a concern. And you and I would both agree, I would hope, that when it comes to a sport like football, if you don't got depth, you're fucked.
Yeah.
If one of your players gets hurt and you don't have somebody to back him up, that could potentially completely hinder your offensive or defensive approach. So what I'm saying is you and I both understand that there's a way to go full speed without the full contact. You wrap them up, you fucking stick them, but you're not going to drag them to the ground. You're going to hear a whistle.
Right.
So what I mean by that is if I were a coach, I would want my best seeing the best, but that doesn't mean you have to blindside. That doesn't mean you have to bury into the ground with your weight. Like there's still a little bit of professionalism that these guys can try and maintain to at least give them the best full look they can. Now, I don't coach an NFL team. Like at the same time, you absolutely could put them up against your practice squad. But I guess in my head, when it comes to flipping a switch, like you can't flip the switch against mediocre opposition. Like I just mentally, I don't, because they're either going to get the idea of I'm doing what I need to do to be successful, but then you put them up against stars and maybe it's not enough. I guess I wouldn't want to come out of the gate with a shock and awe. I would want them to be prepared for that. But that's just my initial mentality, man. Talking to a coaching staff, you figure out other ways of kind of mimicking that game-like presence. There probably are other ways. That's just right off the top. That's kind of where Certainly. I would be headed.
A conversation's sake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you believe that the game plan that they have in place is going to be suffice?
Well, let me finish this list, and then I'm going to answer, because I only got like a couple more. So, preseason games, they're not sure. So we still do not know how a positive COVID test will be handled in regards to others in close contact, in the huddle, directly engaged. So, like, if so-and-so tests positive, well, what about the rest of the offense? Next one, a strong and fair opt-out clause for those at higher risk or those with family members at higher risk has still not been agreed upon, such as players, somebody tests positive and then somebody's uncomfortable. Can they opt out of the season? Are they going to be contractually binded to playing every game, or do they have the option to opt out, sacrifice that pay, and say, yo, I got to look out for my family now. Like, this is getting out of hand. I'm out. Which, I'm not in the legal department, but I feel like all things considered, like you'd want to offer that. Like I feel like you're going to get a lot of buy-in from your players. A lot more trust will be built. Because if you just say, nope, you're fucked. You're either in or out.
Do you pay them their full contract amount?
You'd have to figure. I would assume that the opt-out means you're opting out of everything. You're opting out of the pay, which you're contractually binded to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the contract is going to say you're going to get paid this for doing this. If you opt out, you forego everything. But it would be cool to see them given that option. That's all. Now I don't know. I don't know the details.
If you're a front office guy, quick question. I know you're trying to go through your list, but because we're on this topic,
no, that's fine. I just want to finish this before we go off into another
something.
Yeah.
If you're a front office guy, or even if you're a player, let's put you on both sides of the fence here. All right. Season started. You're playing. We'll say you're 6 weeks in, or even halfway or whatever, and you opt out. You're opting out of. Would you prorate the contracts? I mean, the pay for the year. Then is what you're saying. Like, so however many weeks you play, because you kind of get paid by the week still. You're saying, hey, this is what you get paid, and that's it. Or are you saying? No, you're going to pay less because the fact that you decided to quit on the team and we needed you.
I guess, I think this is going to make it confusing. I think it's dependent on how each individual player's contract was created. Because, not every player is like, you're going to get played per game. Like some people have guaranteed money. Some people, so like there's so many, I think, different stipulations that would go into something like that. I don't feel like there's going to be an easy answer, but if I had to put it in a nutshell, I was kind of along the lines with you get paid by like a per game basis. So what's your annual take this season? 15 mil? Cool. We're going to divide that over X amount of weeks. So if you opt out, you'll receive this chunk of money. Like I feel like that to me, that makes sense. But once again, without being extremely knowledgeable of how these contracts are truly broken down.
Well, everybody's
it's
different.
tough. But I would say, I wouldn't say, because I mean, unless I misunderstood your question, it kind of sounded like the same thing. Are you going to prorate their pay, or are you just going to pay them less for the games they played?
Right. So it's yeah. More or less.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think we're both on the same. Like, they're going to get paid less money than what they were guaranteed if they cut out early.
There you go. Okay.
So, last, and there's only two more. If players do not show up on time, they can be fined or considered in breach of contract, even if health and safety protocols have not been agreed upon, or IDER, which is infectious disease. Excuse me.
Corona.
Infectious disease emergency response plans have been approved, which all got taken care of today. And then the last one he put is, once again, we want to play. So, I know we kind of talked through those, which was cool. Like, I like how we went through those one by one and kind of divvied them down. But like, the whole point that JJ Watt was basically just tweeting out was, here's what we know, and most importantly, here's what we don't know. And I feel like when you get somebody like a JJ Watt or a Russell Wilson, like, just them saying, yo, this is where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, it really puts the NFL on blast. Like, yo, so not only, are you like us two on different pages, now all the fans that are expecting games are now going to be on their ass like, NFL, figure your shit out.
How am I going to draft a fantasy football team if I don't know what's popping?
Basically.
I mean,
at the end of the day, that's most important.
I'm disappointed. I check my email all day and all night just to see if the commissioner sent me like what was going down.
Yeah.
Dickhead didn't. Fuck you, Goodell. Yeah, no, it's I was really impressed with the players and how they were actively saying, look, we don't know. Yo, shout out right now, you go check out Proficient Fans on YouTube. Did you realize that motherfucking latest video was like 800 gigabytes?
Was it really? I know. No, I know it wasn't 800. I know it wasn't 800, but
yeah,
it was big.
It was 800.
My dad texted me today. He's like, "Yo, where's your YouTube video?" Like, yeah, I mean, he said it differently, but like, I was just like, "No, dude, that's on CP. Blame him."
Yeah, all week long, man. Like, I was having fucking troubles, man, with getting it, and I was pissed because I was just like, no, you don't understand. Like, all day yesterday, I'm sitting there and I was trying to render. I was just trying to even cut the video so it would actually be able to be uploaded, and I'd taken that and I woke up and it's fucking failed. What the fuck? So I'm like messing around. Finally, today I got it to go, and then I tried to upload it to YouTube at about 9:30 this morning, and it just now got done because it was such a fucking large file.
That's funny.
Sorry, I just got the message on my phone. So, now without everything being perfectly ironed out, could you see some players sitting out?
I could see it, man. I feel like the people who choose to sit out are going to be individuals who live with family that could be easily, infected.
Mm-hmm.
People with infants and toddlers and children at home, like, that are just too nervous to put them at risk. I feel
what about old Big Mama that's maybe not gonna be here long, and
no, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, like, even like, that's, I guess, anybody
you got granny that's not gonna make it too long, and you're just like, you can't go visit her because.
I mean, that was my whole, like, people who could be easily, you could easily infect, like, so the elderly, like, people like that. So, I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, same with the NBA, same with the MLB, same with any sport.
True.
If people choose to sit out, I'll not hold it against them. Like, this shit's real. Like, if you're listening to this pod and you don't think COVID's real, like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like, shit's real.
Well, be honest.
Like,
we dogged Donald Trump out enough. I feel like those people probably like, yo, we're not listening to these guys. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I won't blame anybody, man. I hope everybody plays. I have heard no news on my team personally, which at the end of the day is numero uno. So as long as all my Dolphins are there and ready to go, like, I'm pretty pumped about that. Just obviously from a competitive standpoint. Madden fucking rated us the worst team in the goddamn league again, so fuck you, EA. But that shit's real life, bro. I don't know why the fuck you're laughing.
Hey
But
man, because I feel like they have us about the exact same of what not last, but I mean,
yeah,
I think we still have the fifth pick or third pick, fourth pick.
yeah.
So
So, but no, man. Like, I guess
Trevor
like I
Lawrence, we're
said,
coming for you, buddy.
that's fine. Travis Etienne, his teammate, is maybe Miami bound here shortly, so I'm good with that too.
look,
I would
look at us.
love,
We're like,
I would love some of that, dude. Oh, that'd be
oh,
great.
dude.
I mean, we
I
got
know.
Breda and we picked up Josh Gordon, Jesus, Jordan Howard, but which I'm super stoked about. Like, people are
Yeah.
sleeping on Jordan Howard. 3 of his 4 years, CB's rushed for over 900 yards. Like, that ain't no slouch. I mean, he was in Chicago, he was in Philly, so he's got moved around a little bit, but like, Jordan Howard is like underrated. And I said that when we first signed him. See, I feel like it's easy for the common fan, and even for like people like us at times, to get wrapped up and assume that fantasy value directly correlates to real life value. And those don't always necessarily correlate, because you'll take somebody
Yeah.
like Jordan Howard, who, from a football statistic standpoint, non fantasy related, has had success running the ball. Like, you hit 1,000-yard season, like that ain't no joke. Like, you did something, you were successful, and he's come up short by 100 yards 3 times.
Yeah.
And then you mix it with Matt Breda. You got your Thunder and you got your Lightning now. And Matt Breda, what was it, 2 or 3 seasons ago in San Francisco? Breakout year, big deal.
I think it was about 2
I
years
won't say
ago.
big deal. It's not like he was like the best in the NFL, but I
He
guess
had a very strong season.
yeah,
I do remember
I
that.
won't get into too much Dolphin talk, but like, my point being is I'm excited for the next, like, for this upcoming season. I think we have more talent. Once again, like I said last year, CB, they said we would go what, 1-16.
Right.
Like, they said we were going to be the worst team in the league, and we surprised a lot of people. Beat the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I just use them as an example because that's a good team. Like, don't sleep on Miami.
Yo, okay, you know what? I got a question. I hope I remember it because I want to stay focused on the notes we have here. Uh, so I think you put these notes in here as far as the question. I guess I want to see where your head's at with this
Yeah,
because you put
so
this in here.
I talked about, will a severely shortened camp and not having preseason affect teams? And I think we kind of already talked about that a little bit. So I'm going to go into my next drop down, and I'm going to ask you some more specific questions, and I'm just curious if you've thought about this or how you think it's going to affect teams. So my next question was, how will it affect each position on the field, and will anyone benefit? So I guess my question to you is if you break it down from a strategic standpoint, okay, you're thinking of your offense as a whole and your defense as a whole. Does a shortened training camp affect anyone specifically? And if so, is it for the good or for the worse?
I believe that it will affect it negatively, especially on the offensive side.
Okay.
If you look at what's been going on this entire COVID season, what I have seen, and it's not, and I don't believe that this is happening just because he's new in town. There's a reason why Tom Brady has been very active as far as like, yo, I'm practicing, and he's getting players around to go throw the rock to, because he knows what a cohesive unit has to be like to win football games. He's already, this is a bold fucking statement, I know it, but I feel like he's probably already a more cohesive unit with that team. No, with those receivers though. No, because
spoken like a true Wolverine.
this guy, I'm gonna kick you next time I see him.
Bumping up Tom Brady. All
No,
hail Tom Brady.
No, because because here's the thing. I was gonna say because because this is the reason you got me fucked up right now, man. I'm so fucking angry. So angry inside.
You can hear CB in the background.
You see who's humming it though? Who knows the sound?
Hey, who recognizes it because they know all the words?
I I know where you're going at with it. No, it was more for the fact that like he's been very active on getting to be a cohesive unit where even like somebody like Russell Wilson, um, I feel bad for Cam Newton because of the fact that he hasn't done that yet. And I don't know. I really want to see that man succeed.
Cam Newton's vegan. He don't fucking need no practice.
Yeah, right. But the reason why I was thinking about this, I was thinking about this conversation and just like I'm sitting there watching, the media and everybody saying, everybody's getting mad at Tom Brady because he's still doing practices, even though down there in Florida, COVID's fucking bonkers. And I was just like, man, who didn't do a lot of early season work later in his career? Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what Brett Favre didn't do? Win any more championships once he decided he didn't want to do fucking training camps. He didn't want to put in the extra work. And honestly, I feel like Brett Favre, I think he's an easy conversation for, one of the greats. I don't think you could ever have a great conversation and leave Brett Favre out. And I just think that when I'm watching this happen, that's the reason why, in conclusion, that is the reason why I think that the offense would be the more affected of a shortened training camp. Sure. Because of the video that we watched this week of Cam Newton saying that the offense was this big unit, right? The guard has to do its job or else he's getting smoked or the running back's getting wrecked in the backfield. Everybody has this whole thing where defense, as big as that needs to be as a cohesive unit, a great line. Ray Lewis probably made the. I always use Ray Lewis because he's probably the best linebacker. Him and Lawrence Taylor. But they were able to make up for maybe somebody else's mistakes that you didn't see.
So it's funny how you emphasize the offense because in my opinion, as far as from a benefit, and this is going to kind of seem like it contradicts what you were saying, but I feel like the benefit is going to come from the skill players. I feel like skill players have a advantage over everyone else. And the reason I say that is, in my opinion, when it comes down to just throwing guys out on a field without and I know they're professionals, okay? So let's kind of from a general sense, if you were to throw a whole bunch of people out on the field, the people who are probably going to excel that are just raw are going to be people who are super fast and can just keep the fuck away from everybody else. You know what I mean? So in a peewee, a racket football league, of course, the fastest kid's always going to be one of the better ones. He just runs away from everybody. But, one thing that is important on offense is quarterback and wide receiver synergy. You have to know where that guy's going to be, how quick he moves, what his catch radius is. Quarterback's got to know where to put it, how to drop the
receivers got to know how the rotation's going to come into the hands.
Yeah,
the running backs got to they got to get that down. I'm cutting you off.
No, and I agree with all of that. But at the end of the day, if we just assume they're professionals, I assume we'll just keep the Bucs as far as where we're at. I assume that Tom Brady can still throw the pigskin, and I assume that Mike Evans has still got hands. I feel like if I throw those two guys out there, even though they don't have any chemistry, they're still going to get it done. Now, where I feel like somebody could play at a disadvantage is now I'm thinking of people like linebackers. And that was one of the first thoughts that came to mind. And I'm like, okay, so now you have to learn on the fly with reduced time. Now you got to relearn everyone's offense. You got to relearn who's on the field and who's a threat. You got to still control your defense. But not only that is I don't feel like tackling is as easy as people think it is. A man just doesn't run at another person and just reach his arms out and grab blindly. There is still a proper way to tackle, a proper way to form up, wrap up, and take somebody to the ground. And I feel like when you're not at top speed, when you're not ready for that coming, it's going to be hard because defenses react. And I
Right.
feel like if your reaction time is slowed down at all, you're playing at a disadvantage. And that's what the defense does at all times. Everything they do is reaction. It's not, they're not the ones initiating anything. The offense is like, now, granted, you can call audibles at the line. I get that. But at the end of the day, the offense calls a play, and the defense's job is to react to it and try and stop it. And when you're not properly prepared, I feel like that's where that shortcoming is. Now, you can make an argument both ways. I love what you said. You said nothing wrong. It's just that when I first thought about it, I was like,
proficient.
when I first thought about it, my head was like, would I rather be the one calling the plays without any practice, or be the one to try and stop somebody else without any practice? And I guess that in my head just seemed more difficult, was stopping somebody when you're unprepared. And that's if we're assuming both sides are unprepared. This is a professional sport. All teams are probably going to come in ready to put their best forward. So, it could be, it is what it is. Plus, I'll be honest, I don't know individual position.
Reacts, so when you said the defense reacts, that's the reason why, that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I think that it doesn't matter what scheme you have going. The other day, you have to react to what's happening around you.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I wouldn't even put that on my.
Well, but once again, my question was with a shortened camp and no preseason. So they're not seeing it. In offense, you can run 100. I feel like you can run 100% on offense and learn that offense. On defense, unless you're going up against the A team.
I was going to say that quarterback, not any quarterback.
To see that.
I'm thinking about a quarterback at that point because it's all about timing. You got to know that within 3 steps that they're going to be, that 7 yards out and cutting already. And it's all about timing at that point. that, and I'm not trying to say that you don't. I'm just sitting here going, I just can't see. There's just too much timing that goes on the offensive side of the ball that you need that kind of time together to get those cylinders clicking at full capacity.
It sounds like you're definitely skewing this thought process towards the passing game quite a bit. I know you mentioned running backs, but at the end of the day,
because I think that if you spend a good week just handing the ball off to your running back, they're gonna get the feel of how you're gonna put it in. The running back's gonna say, "I need you to slam it here," and you can work that out in a week's time.
Yep.
I'm thinking of there's you're absolutely right. I'm definitely focusing on the passing because I'm thinking about your receivers. I'm thinking about the tight end. I'm thinking about the running back that has to catch. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking of everybody that he has to throw the ball to, and he's got to know that, on that third check, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because Christian's gonna be, I'm just using, because I'm going with the best running back in the league. Christian's gonna be ready for that little screen pattern or the wheel route or whatever, So, I don't know. I don't want to beat a dead horse, so.
It's gonna be tough for everybody.
It is.
No matter how good you are, no matter how much you worked out, it's still gonna be tough not having as much prep time. Period. Same for the NBA. Same for the MLB. You know what I mean? For everybody, except UFC fighters. Most of those guys have still been in camp. They're just doing their own private camps.
I was gonna say most of them. I was gonna say from what I know is with UFC, and I didn't watch any of the fights.
Dude, I didn't watch them either. I didn't watch them this week.
I missed Wednesday. I did
watch Wednesday.
I was gonna say Wednesday was the day that I was like, ooh, I get to sleep in a bed, and I went to bed early. And then Saturday, my neighbors that lived next door to me, I remember a year ago, I sat there and I'm like, yo, how you know Art? And he's like, because they posted a picture on Facebook about them playing in a Gus Macker together. First off, didn't know they were still Gus Mackers, and then the fact that he was playing with a guy I went to college with. Yeah. And,
I'm asking.
What is a Gus Macker?
Yeah, what are you referring to?
It's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
Got you.
They were really big when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I never heard it.
Oh wow. Yeah, they used to hold him here in Kalamazoo all the time, at least once a year, maybe twice. But anyways, like, and he's like, yeah, da da, and he finally my neighbor had my boy Art over, and so I ended up freaking hanging out with them until like 11 o'clock at night on Saturday, drinking the cervezas and just having a good time and going down memory lane. I was just like, man, he actually married the girl that he met when we were hanging out back then. And I was like, that threw me for a loop. They went to high school together and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I was like, you always post these like old little romantical things on Facebook about, oh, I like your way back when. I was like, I thought I was there for when you guys fell in love. He goes, oh, you were. He's just like, she hated me, I didn't like her. He's like, I liked her, but like she didn't know I liked her. I was like, that's nuts. But anyways, I don't know, it's a cool night. But gosh, yeah, I didn't watch any UFC, and I was a little disappointed, but I looked at the fight card and I wasn't overly intrigued.
I mean, I wasn't either. Main event, there was some other fight. I don't know, dude. I just honestly, it was kind of nice taking a break from watching UFC, especially since I just watched it Wednesday. And like, other than the main event, to me, there really wasn't anything to get too pumped for.
Right.
It just is what it is. So.
But I don't know.
I mean, we don't got to get into that. That was purely just a side comment. So.
Oh no, I remember what I was gonna say. So, NBA bubble seems to be working. NFL, we don't know if it's gonna work, but it sounds like they're getting closer to something. I don't want to spend too much time on Major League Baseball, but the Toronto Blue Jays can't have anybody come see them because Canada says we don't. Yeah, because Canada says we don't want Americans.
Fair. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. I get it. I get it, Canada.
Yeah, I mean, so like right now they're the big dilemma team because they're just like, what are they gonna do? Do you have them come down to their farm team and like their farm stadium?
I mean,
minor league stadium
I was
anything
just getting ready to say, since fans aren't gonna be fully loaded anyways. You just do what you can.
But
it's still an away game. That's the thing. It's still going to be kind of an away game. The only advantage is the other team, the opposing team, doesn't have their home stadium.
Yeah.
They're still traveling. But yeah, man, I guess I'll be honest. I never really thought about like what they would do. I guess I've never really put thought to that.
It's been something that I just kind of caught this weekend.
I mean, they're not going to not play. They're either going to keep traveling or they're going to play somewhere in the States.
Well,
I feel like it's simple as that.
I was going to say it's a couple. I think it's like maybe 9 days away when they're supposed to host their first home game. And you don't even know where it's at. I've heard people say, a bunch of random places. They found some really nice minor league parks. I heard people talking about. They also spoke about Vegas, which I don't know what baseball would be like in Vegas. That sounds hot.
Yeah.
But I guess it couldn't be any hotter than Arizona.
I mean, I feel like somewhere in the Northeast, like they probably won't play at Comerica. They probably won't borrow another professional stadium. At least I would assume they wouldn't.
Right.
But, I mean, they'd have to play somewhere close. I mean, if they're going to have an alternative home stadium.
Yeah, and I feel like you'd almost want to do something that has to do with your program, not just a rando, program. But I was really disappointed in the fact that they didn't work that out already, and they already had games going.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Canada said, "Oh, baseball's starting. Hey, America, you can't come here." Like, that's been a fucking thing for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck. There's a lot of other countries that aren't.
And you know what's crazy, bro? I think I even mentioned this. What the fuck is the NHL going to do? If they're not going to let baseball teams in, they can't let hockey teams in, and there's 4 Canadian teams in the NHL.
No, the NHL will have to find places for these hockey teams from Canada to come down. We're letting people in. That's the reason why we keep on fucking having an influx of, shit. That and people don't want to wear masks. But we want our sports, but we don't want to do the shit to make our fucking country safe.
Right.
America. Oh, I'm not.
You ain't wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I'm gonna be honest. I got nothing else.
I'm good.
All right. Well, hey guys, gals, thank you again for joining us for another week. Had a lot of fun.
93.
93.
7
Ooh.
away from the century mark.
I know, right?
And then 4 more until our 2-year CB. I know you got that confused last time, so.
Yeah.
100 episodes, 104 episodes is 2-year.
Yes.
Go straight.
Yes.
He said, "No, it's not."
Yeah. When the Remy's in the system, ain't no telling when I fucking walk. Oh, all right.
Old tub.
Old tub. And I only poured one drink.
I poured a big drink this week though.
I mean, I gave it a good pour, but I mean, it's 100 proof, so I was like, yo, put your dick back in your pants, CB, and just take a grandfather's pour. All right. We're out. Peace.
Take care.